many would say it's an extremely difficult one to adapt. And I'm wondering what led to your interest in adapting the novel.
When I was 11, there was a girl in my neighborhood who came to my home. She was 7-ish, and she was 3 in the afternoon. It was broad daylight. And she was naked, and she was bleeding, and she was crying, and she was covering her private area. She was heavy, and she said, "My mommy's going to kill me." And I remember feeling, I don't know what I felt. I felt a feeling of nausea, anger, fear. I can't describe the feeling that I had. And looking at my mother, who was for the first time afraid. And I read the book. And I had the same feeling, and it evoked those same feelings, and I wanted to heal. And so I felt that it was a way of healing myself and hopefully others that had felt those feelings.
We'll take questions from the audience. For those of you sitting in the front, I'm going to repeat the questions so that everyone in the auditorium can hear them. Yes?
Can you talk about the decision to do a period film, and the subtlety of the period was so excellent. It wasn't really overwhelming or kitschy in the detail. Can you talk about how you came about making that decision and how you executed it in the film?
The question is about the decision to make a film set in a very specific period and the attention to detail.
I felt that if we had done a piece, the same book, there's a big question that went back and forth throughout the development of the script, that if we had made the film current day, it would not have the punch that it would, the bite that it had, because HIV today is, for the most part, treatable. Then it was not treatable. So I felt that we had to stay true to the time period that we were in. And plus I know that time period so intimately that it was something that I enjoyed revisiting, the music and the world and that era.
Yes, in front.
Can you tell me why you decided to use voiceover?
The question is,
her voiceover.
Why did Mr. Daniels decide to use Precious's voiceover?
Well, in the book, it is the voiceover is a third character, is a character in the book, and she's a strong character in the book. And it was very difficult. I didn't want to, because in the you see her growth and her arc as someone that is learning how to read. She goes from illiterate to literate, and from being able to enunciate, not being able to enunciate, to enunciation. So it was a very, I had to stay true to the book. She was in her head. She was always in her head. Ultimately, she was in her head, and I had to stay true to that character. That was a very strong force in the book.
Yes, on the side.
First of all, I wanted to congratulate you on a wonderful film and much deserved success. I'm right now one of the producers of an upcoming urban drama called Yelling to the Sky, which came out of the Sundance Lab and was greatly inspired by your work. And I wanted to ask if you feel that this film represents sort of a breakthrough moment for urban dramas. And, well, that's my question.
The question is whether Mr. Daniels thinks that Precious represents a breakthrough moment in urban dramas.
Yo, I was so excited that you said that. Thank you very much. That's the biggest compliment. That's the biggest compliment. I did Monsters Ball, and I did Woodsman, and we won Cannes, and we won an Academy Award. My family does not understand those, and my friends that I grew up with really were not fans or even cared to see that work. So I wanted to do something that was very intimate to them, and something that they would connect to. So I brought that world of what I know to be cinema into the world of urban. What that ends up being, I'm not quite sure, but I do know that I feel that I know that they're hungry for this, and I think that it's a different type of thing that's going on in cinema, and I'm proud of it, that we're able to marry the worlds and to show black art in a new way.